All right, welcome back to CallSpark Deep Dive, Episode 5. We're diving into something pretty cool today, unlocking sales and marketing secrets, using something called the 80-20 principle.
Sounds kind of mysterious.
It is, but in a good way. And our guide is Perry Marshall in his book, 80-20 Sales and Marketing. Seriously, this stuff can be like finding cheat codes for your business.
I like the sound of that. Cheat codes for business success.
Exactly. And the 80-20 principle, it's all about understanding that a tiny bit of what you do drives most of your results.
Okay, I'm starting to see how that could be powerful.
Right. It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. It applies everywhere, not just sales. Take wealth, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Perry highlights this crazy stat. Only 5% of countries generate 63% of global wealth. Mind-blowing.
Wow, yeah, I see your point. Big impact from a small slice.
Exactly. Now think about sales.
Okay, that's where it gets really interesting.
Right. How can we find that 5% that's driving most of our success?
So we can ditch the other 95% and work less? I'm in.
Huh. Well, maybe not ditch it entirely, but definitely focus on what's working. And Perry has this great analogy. He calls it racking the shotgun.
Racking the shotgun. Okay, I gotta hear this.
Imagine you fire a shotgun in the air. Who flinches?
Anyone nearby, probably?
Exactly. Those are your ideal customers, the ones who instantly get what you're about.
Oh, I see. They're already attuned to your message.
Yeah. Every marketing effort you make, it's like that shotgun blast.
So we've got to make sure we're hitting the right people.
Exactly, those who are already primed to respond. But how?
Well, you wouldn't just randomly fire a shotgun if you had a specific target, right?
Yeah.
You'd think about your aim, win conditions, stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Marketing's similar. Really understand your ideal customer. Their demographics, their pain points, the language they use, where they hang out online.
So you can tailor your message and target your efforts.
Exactly. Make sure it hits those ideal customers right where they are.
It's like building a customer avatar.
Right. Exactly. Get so specific that you can practically picture them sitting across from you. That's how you make those marketing shots count. And Perry offers these 5 power questions. He calls them 5 power disqualifiers.
5 power disqualifiers. Gotta love a catchy name.
Right. It helps you weed out the wrong people and identify those high-value customers. It's about qualifying leads before you invest your time and energy.
Time and energy are precious. Okay, hit me with these disqualifiers.
The first one's easy. Money. Can they afford what you're selling? Straightforward.
Makes sense. No point wasting time if they can't buy. What's next?
Bleeding neck. This is about finding those burning problems your solution addresses. Are they in pain, actively looking for a solution?
So they're not just browsing, they're desperate for what you offer.
Right. If not, move on. They're probably not the right fit. Third disqualifier, unique selling proposition.
The USP. So do they actually get what makes you stand out?
Exactly. They got to understand and value those unique things you bring to the table. If your USP doesn't resonate, it's probably not the right customer. And then we have ability to say yes.
Oh man, I've been there. Talking to the wrong person in the company for weeks and they can't actually make the purchase.
It happens. So disqualifier number 4, make sure you're talking to the decision maker, the one who can actually sign on the dotted line.
Otherwise, total waste of time. All right, what's the final disqualifier?
Overall plans. Does what you offer align with their long-term goals, their strategies? If it doesn't, you're going to have an uphill battle.
So it's about making sure you're both on the same page, moving in the same direction. And these aren't just theoretical questions.
Oh, no, they're not. John Paul DeJoria, co-founder of Paul Mitchell and patron Tequila, actually used these to achieve massive success.
Wow, talk about real-world proof. Makes you think, right? Are we all wasting time on prospects who don't even fit these criteria?
It's a good question to ask yourself. Tough, but important.
Okay, so let's say we found those ideal qualified leads. How do we make a sales message that really hits home?
That's the million-dollar question. And Perry breaks down a winning sales message using his own website as an example. First, a killer headline that grabs attention.
And that headline should speak directly to the bleeding neck.
You got it. That urgent problem we talked about. Then your copy should build a connection using their language, showing them you get their struggle.
Empathize with them, right?
Exactly. Then hit them with results. Showcase your successes. Don't be afraid to show off how you've helped others.
Social proof, so powerful. People want to see that you can deliver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then you lay out the promise, what's in it for them. Make it irresistible.
No holding back.
Right. And finally, a strong call to action. Tell them exactly what to do next.
No room for guesswork. So, a compelling headline, empathetic copy, proof of results, a clear promise, and a strong call to action. Sounds like a winning formula.
It is. And remember, the 80-20 principle reminds us to focus on that top 20%, the ones most likely to say yes.
All right, keeping it efficient. And speaking of efficiency, Perry talks about something called the power triangle.
Ah, yes, this is where it all comes together. Traffic, conversion, and economics. It's all connected, and the 80-20 principle runs right through it.
Okay, break it down for me.
So first, you got to get people to see your message, that's traffic. Then turn those visitors into leads or customers, that's conversion. And finally, you got to make sure it's all profitable, that's the economics part.
Traffic, conversions, profit sounds pretty logical.
It is. But Perry has this interesting approach. He
Yeah.
suggests you think backward.
Backward.
Yeah. Start with the economics, what'll make you the most money, and then work back from there. Figure out the conversion strategy, then how to get the traffic.
Whoa. Instead of starting with a product and trying to find a buyer, you figure out what will make you the most money first. Then figure out how to get it in front of the right people.
Exactly. It's about understanding your numbers first, then building your strategy. Now, want to get even more specific? Let's dive into something called RFM recency, frequency, money.
RFM. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's a way to group your customers based on their buying behavior.
So recency, that's when they last bought. Frequency, how often they buy. And money, how much they spend.
Got it. You got it. RFM helps you really hone in on those VIP customers, the ones who bought recently, buy often, and spend a lot.
Top performers. Makes sense to focus on them.
Right. Nurturing those relationships is way more effective than trying to convert every single person who comes along. It's about focusing on the gold you already have.
Love that analogy.
Yeah.
So have you looked at your customer data through an RFM lens?
It can be a game changer. And speaking of shaking things up, get ready for a bit of a controversial concept, firing customers.
Wait, firing customers? Seems a little harsh.
I know, right? But it's not about being mean. It's about recognizing that some customers just aren't worth it. Remember, that bottom 10% might be eating up 80% of your time, energy, and profits.
So they're actually hurting your business.
Exactly, draining you.
I think Perry shared a story about firing a disrespectful member.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta cut ties. Focus on those who value you.
It's about setting boundaries and making space for better customers. All right, ready for some more controversy? Leveraging controversy in your marketing.
Oh yeah, this is interesting. Controversy grabs attention, and attention can lead to sales. Perry uses a great example, the gun control debate. It actually boosted gun sales.
Wow. So taking a stand, even on a divisive issue, can really attract your tribe.
It can, but gotta be careful here. This isn't about being inflammatory or unethical. It's about thoughtfully picking issues that resonate with your audience and taking a clear stance.
A stance that aligns with your values, right?
Exactly. It's about authenticity, attracting those who share your vision.
Okay, that's a wrap on part 1 of our deep dive into the 80-20 principle.
We covered a ton. The power curve, racking the shotgun, the 5 power disqualifiers, the power triangle, RFM, firing customers, even leveraging controversy.
Phew, we packed it in.
And we're just getting started. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll uncover even more strategies to boost your sales and marketing using this powerful 80-20 principle.
Welcome back. We left off talking about some pretty mind-blowing ideas like firing customers and using controversy in your marketing.
Yeah, intense stuff. But there's a lot more to uncover in Perry's book, like this concept of invisible money. It sounds kind of mysterious.
It is, but not in a, secret society kind of way. It's about shifting how you see things, realizing most of the money is made by applying that 80-20 principle, focusing your energy on what actually brings in the big bucks.
Okay, so working smarter, not just harder. We've heard that before. But how do we actually find those high-impact activities? Like, where's the treasure map?
Well, Perry gives us a tool. Over at www.8020curve.com, there's this visual thing that maps out the power curve for your business.
Oh, cool. So it's like an X-ray of your sales and marketing, showing you where the invisible money is hiding.
Exactly. Data visualization, it's amazing for spotting those hidden patterns. It is. But even with that, what if we're still struggling to figure out those high-value things to focus on?
That's where those 5 power disqualifiers come back in. Remember those?
Yeah, money, bleeding neck, all that good stuff.
Right. They're not just for weeding out bad prospects. They're a roadmap to your ideal customer.
Oh, I see what you mean.
By looking at who's already saying yes, you can kind of reverse engineer it, figure out what attracts them.
Working backward from success. So once we get that clear picture of who our ideal customer is, we can rack the shotgun more effectively.
Exactly. Target your marketing, make it resonate with their specific needs and desires. Perry takes it even further, talks about something called the sales funnel in reverse.
Sales funnel in reverse. What's that all about?
Instead of starting with a product and then trying to find someone to buy it, you start with the customer and their needs.
So flip the script, right? Instead of, hey, I got this cool thing, want to buy it.
Yeah.
It's more like, what's keeping you up at night? How can I help?
That's the heart of it. A successful sale, it doesn't start with a cold call or a pitch. It starts by attracting those qualified leads who are already interested. One of the best ways to do that. Give them valuable info. Position yourself as the expert.
Okay, so creating content that speaks to those pain points. Blog posts, articles, videos, webinars, whatever, shows off our knowledge and makes us the go-to in the industry.
Exactly. And this leads into another powerful thing, publicity. When you get featured in the media, quoted by experts, that instantly boosts your credibility.
It's like a stamp of approval. But how do we actually get that publicity? It always seems like something that just happens to other people.
It's not as hard as you think. One of the best ways is to become that source of information. Write articles, do talks, create content people actually want to share.
And make sure we have a way to capture those leads. Email opt-in, free download, whatever it is, got to turn that publicity into something real.
You don't want it to just disappear.
Yeah.
And speaking of capturing leads, Perry emphasizes the importance of a good email list.
Oh yeah, email marketing still going strong.
It is. But it's not just about collecting addresses, it's about building relationships, giving your subscribers something valuable.
Creating a community, people who are excited to hear from you.
Yeah.
Now, on a practical level, how do we get more of that high-value work done, even when we're feeling overwhelmed? Because we can't do everything.
So true. Perry talks about hiring, outsourcing, especially the power of a personal assistant.
Ah, yes, the personal assistant. Sounds fancy.
It can be, but think of it as an investment. It frees you up to focus on the 20% stuff that actually moves the needle.
I like that, reclaiming our time.
Exactly. Perry even suggests getting a personal assistant even if your company won't pay for it. That's how important it is.
Wow. Okay, I'm sold. What else can we do to manage our time? There are never enough hours in the day.
Perry has this really cool point. He says that even if you're making $20 an hour, there's at least 1 minute each day where you generate $1,000 worth of value.
Whoa, that's a wild way to look at it.
Right. So we've got to identify those activities, the ones with that $1,000 per minute return, and ruthlessly prioritize them.
And ditch everything else.
Or delegate it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because here's the cool thing. As you climb that power curve, bigger and better opportunities will just show up.
It's like a snowball of success. The more you focus on that 20%, the more success you attract.
You got it.
And that's a wrap on part 2. We covered some serious ground: ideal customers, sales messages, publicity, getting more done, and managing our time like pros.
Lots of great stuff. But remember, knowledge without action is just, well, knowledge.
So, what are you going to implement? Pick one thing, commit to it, and let us know how it goes. Share your 80-20 wins.
We want to hear about your success.
Welcome back. Ready for the final part of our 80-20 adventure?
I am. We've saved some of the most powerful stuff for last.
Oh, I like the sound of that. What we got?
We're going to dive into how to find those super engaged, rabid markets, how to make a power USP that makes customers practically chase you down, and some really smart market research tips.
Okay, rabid markets. I got to know more about that. What are we talking about here? Imagine a niche market where people are just crazy about a product or service, almost obsessed. They can't get enough info, they're always debating, and they're ready to spend serious money to get the best.
Sounds like a dream come true for any business.
Right. Think hardcore gamers, sneakerheads, those Tesla fanatics. They're all in.
So their wallets are already open. They just need to be convinced that you're the one to buy from.
Exactly. And Perry points out this weird thing. He calls it the Amazon.com 3-star rating phenomenon. It sounds crazy, but products with a ton of 3-star reviews, it often means there's a rabid market.
Wait, 3 stars? Isn't that just like average? Why would that indicate a passionate market?
Because it means people are super engaged, they're talking, they're debating, they care enough to write long reviews even if they're not totally in love with the product. It shows they're invested.
So they can't help but weigh in, even if they're a little on the fence. I get it. So how do we find these hidden treasure troves, these rabid markets?
A few ways. One is to look for controversy or debates happening in your industry. Remember how we talked about using controversy in your marketing?
Yeah, taking a stand, attracting those who agree with you, even if it ruffles some feathers.
Right. Controversy it often creates passion, and passion fuels those rabid markets. Another way that look for products or services with those cult followings, like Apple fanatics or those diehard CrossFit people. They're super loyal.
And their enthusiasm spreads. So controversy and cult followings. Got it. What else?
Social media, it's a goldmine for this. You can use those listening tools to find communities where people are talking about stuff related to your business. It's like eavesdropping on the conversation, seeing what they really care about.
Direct access to what they're thinking and feeling. Love it. So we found a rabid market. Now, how do we make a message that not only resonates with them, but makes them chase us down?
That's where the Power USP comes in. This isn't just listing features and benefits. It's a bold promise, guaranteed results, maybe even a penalty if you don't deliver.
Putting your money where your mouth is. You believe in your product so much, you're willing to back it up completely.
Exactly. Perry gives us a formula, too. If you are your ideal customer, and if you invest X dollars and do Y and Z, then you will get the results they want, or else, here's what I'll do to make it right.
Okay, I like that formula. It's clear. And I love the penalty part. Shows commitment.
It does. And Perry shares this amazing example, a company called Asapico. They make pharmaceutical tank valves. They actually guaranteed if their valve ever failed, they'd not only replace it, but also cover the cost of replacing the customer's entire tank.
Whoa, that's serious confidence.
Yeah.
But even with a Power USP, we still got to really understand our market right.
Absolutely. Perry has a whole chapter on 80/20 market research, which is all about finding those little nuggets of information that can make or break you. And the best part, you don't need a huge budget or a bunch of researchers to do it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So where do we start?
Start with laser focus on your ideal customer. Who are they? What keeps them up at night? What are they dreaming of? Use those 5 power disqualifiers. They're your guide to really understanding them.
So we're picturing that ideal customer. Then what?
Then you start digging deeper. Social media listening comes back in here. Google alerts, social media monitoring tools, track conversations, see what people are saying about your industry, your competitors, all of it.
And don't forget those online forums and review sites.
You got it. They're full of customer feedback, both good and bad.
It's all valuable. Okay, so we're getting insights from social media, forums, reviews. Anything else?
Direct interaction is always powerful. Customer surveys, interviews, those can give you super valuable info. But don't get stuck trying to make some crazy, complex survey. Perry talks about the system from a marketing research expert, Dr. Glenn Livingston, and you can actually gather really good insights in just an afternoon.
An afternoon. Okay, now you've got my attention. How?
Yeah. Dr. Livingston's system, it uses the internet and social media to get data fast. It has strategies for finding those market gaps, unmet needs, what your best customers really want. He even has this 80/20 protocol for writing survey questions that get to the heart of the matter.
Like a shortcut to market research success. But once we've got all this data, we've got to make sure we're actually using it right to see how we're doing, improve our strategies.
Exactly. Perry introduces the RFM matrix, a way to see which marketing channels are bringing in the most money and which ones aren't really working. Helps you optimize your whole sales funnel.
And it all comes back to that 80/20 principle, doesn't it? Focus on what brings the biggest return.
Working smarter, not harder. It's about building a business that works for you and your customers.
Well said. And that brings us to the end of our 80/20 deep dive. We've covered so much, from the power curve to racking the shotgun, those 5 power disqualifiers, the power triangle, RFM, firing customers, using controversy, making a Power USP, and doing smart market research.
It's been quite the journey. But remember, knowing this stuff isn't enough. You gotta take action.
So what are you going to implement? Pick one thing, commit to it this week, and let us know how it goes. Share your 80/20 wins on social media.
We want to celebrate your success. And a huge thank you to our sponsor, CallSpark, for making this deep dive possible.
Yes, thank you to CallSpark, the future of sales calls powered by AI. If you're ready to reach more leads, book more appointments, and skyrocket your sales, head over to callspark.ai and experience the future.
Until next time, happy selling.